Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either.
Oh boy, welcome to the regular Menthol podcast where we discuss kino movies. My name is Tate and my co-host here is Chris.
Hello, everybody.
We give our little thoughts on the movie, our experience watching the movie the first time, and we discuss specific scenes that we liked. Follow up with a little kino rating. You want to talk about a movie here that is every scene we could dissect and talk about.
Yeah, boy.
We're talking about the movie Burn After Reading.
2008.
I had to really kind of really think about this one for a description. This is the best I came up with. The guy from the CIA, he quits his job and he decides to write a memoir. At the same time, his wife decides to get a divorce with him. Through an absurd series of events, a copy of this memoir winds up in the hands of some gym employees who decides it's a good idea to blackmail the CIA, ex-CIA guy, because they think it's top secret documents. Absolute chaos erupts. Somehow gets resolved by everyone either dying or agreeing not to talk about it. And in the end, the CIA is completely baffled at what actually happened, and they're just content at not letting the story get out.
Yeah, this one's a doozy. The funniest part of what you just said there was John Malkovich's character, Osborne Cox. Probably the best character in the movie. Well, second best character in the movie, which we'll get to. But a side note, when he says memoir in the movie, every single time he says memoir, like he pronounces it properly. I'm writing a memoir.
Is this Osborne Cox?
Osborne Cox.
A little backstory, I think, is in order because, you and I met each other about 10 years ago now.
Holy cow.
We're working in the same room. We get to talking to each other and we find, we start talking movies and stuff. And I don't know how far into us talking about movies it was, but it was pretty quick. We discovered that we both liked the movie Burn After Reading. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, this is a guy that is exactly like me. Because if he's like into this and into all these scenes in this movie because of the same reasons I am, we're on the same page.
Yeah. This movie is like, you want to talk about movies that we like that have just little weird tics, facial expressions, awkward characters. I mean, this movie is literally, that's all this movie really is, right?
Yeah. Every scene.
I can't even begin to. We'll cover it, but let's talk about the first time we saw this movie. I saw this movie, I would say probably 2009, 2010, but when I really started to get into movies. Always was a Coen Brothers fan, all their work. So this one seemed like an interesting concept. It's like CIA characters and gym workers. Like, how do you tie those together, right? With a pretty studded cast, was it kind of weird, and I'm like, how are they going to tie this all together? So I was curious going into it. Wasn't disappointed. How about yourself?
I mean, this is one of those movies where I distinctly remember watching it on the couch with I wasn't even really watching it or paying attention. It was one of those movies that my dad got and just started watching it, so everyone in that rest of the house has to watch it as well. But I barely paying attention, and I distinctly remember. I don't remember a lot from like the last 20 years, but I can tell you exactly what was happening when this movie was on. I was sitting on the couch. I'm about to get up, go to the kitchen, and it's that scene where Brad Pitt gets shot. And I remember just like glancing at the TV and I see his goofy face when he opens up the closet. And I was so blown away. I was like, Dad, you got to rewind that. Hold on. I'm like, what is he doing with his face here? Like this face he makes.
One of many crazy faces in this movie.
Yeah. I just distinctly remember like that where I was at a moment in time when I watched this movie. It was probably my dad rented it on DVD. This and there's something a little disorienting about this film, where it's some kind of like surreal reality.
Right.
And I remember thinking that when I was after I saw that scene of him getting shot, I'm like, okay, I'm in on this now. Let me watch this.
What do you
Like,
mean
this is
by a disorienting reality?
everyone is somewhat strange.
Yeah, it's literally every character.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
You're not even like consciously realizing what's going on,
Right.
but in the back of your mind, something is off about every person in this movie. And even just smaller characters like Ted, the gym owner, the manager at the gym. Like, what is he? He goes to the bar at one point. He orders a tab, and you're like, this is just very strange. And he's into Linda a little bit. And
we'll talk about all
it's
that.
like, what is every single character has some weird thing going on in this movie. Yeah. It's like a very surreal reality.
I think it's meant to be that way. Yeah, they're all
it's like the CIA is this powerful organization in everyone's minds in America, right?
Exactly. Yep.
But the implication here in this movie is America is a country full of idiots.
This is it,
including the CIA.
Right. Okay. So that leads me to who's the literal me character in this movie? Who literally are you? Well, I'll start by saying Osborne Cox, right? Not that I think that I'm smarter than everyone, but like him, a little bit high strung at times throughout the movie, which he is, solely because of the stupid shit that I see people do on a daily basis, equally baffles me as it does him, right? This is a guy who can't process his peers' behavior, right? So, and he even states this at the end of the movie when he finds Ted, the gym owner, in his basement, and he basically says to him, he's like, "You represent the moron that society is today," and that's when you come to the realization, this movie, it's like CIA. I don't know if it's taking a shot at the government per se or government employees because they're in DC, right? Where it's all just, it kind of focuses on government employees, and then they kind of put them on the same plane as these like idiot gym workers, right? So it's like everyone in this film is an idiot, right? By their behavior, except for Osborne Cox, John Malkovich. And it's like, this dude's going crazy because all this shit's happening around him and he just can't process with it. He's like, dude, he starts like screaming almost every scene because he's like, I cannot deal with how dumb people are. Like, is this real? Or is like, am I being punked? That's kind of how I took it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's who I can. That's what I can relate to in this movie is Osborne Cox, and I almost wonder if they have this character be like representing the audience, as in you're supposed to identify with Cox because everyone in this movie is so dumb that your response as an audience member is to freak out just like Cox is doing.
Facts.
This movie starts off, the first scene here is it just starts off completely insane, where it zooms in on a CIA building from like a drone above, and it gets put right into this office, the camera, and Osborne Cox is pulled into this office to talk to his superior,
right?
And there's like two guys, like I guess HR type people or something along those lines, the CIA equivalent of that, in the room as well. And Palmer is demoting Osborne, Osborne's played by John Malkovich.
Yeah, so
and it's incredible.
It immediately introduces you to the two best characters, I think, in the movie, which is Osborne Cox and the dude Palmer. Palmer rules. This guy, I mean, and for me, he has the two best scenes, which is this scene. Three best scenes, and then when he reports to his superior in the FBI, I can't remember that, or CIA, I can't remember that actor's name, and then the very final scene where it kind of wraps up the movie, right? But dude, this movie is a Mount Rushmore of faces and ticks, like literally every character. But notably in this scene, Palmer, right? He's got this cadence down to a science, right? This guy, he does like this thing where he'll stutter and then he'll stop and his current sentence, and then he'll kind of pacify that with what he's saying with something a little less threatening. For example, like he's talking to Osborne. He's like, "We found something else for you in the state. Yeah, it's a little lower clearance, but yeah, we're not gonna terminate you." It's like he just keeps stuttering, and it's just the way he delivers these lines, like these facial expressions. It's so good.
And in this scene, Malkovich is like pressing his fingers to his temples, trying to massage his head, totally blown away that these idiots are going to demote him.
Right.
And their reason is that he's an alcoholic. It's like his facial expressions convey all this rage, and it comes out all throughout the movie. But that's what the whole idea is. Again, he's having to deal with all these idiots around him.
Yeah.
And he kind of just loses his mind.
Yeah. And then there's like this dude, I guess he's a Mormon, this guy Peck. It's just like in the middle of the conversation, he just blurts out, he's like, "You have a drinking problem." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "You're a Mormon. Next to you, we all have a drinking problem." He freaks out on the dude. But this guy, Peck, he has this little, it zooms in on his face and he does this like little head tilt and raises his eyebrows, like kind of like looking at him, you know what I mean? It's just, well, aren't you? as does the guy when he's leaving, this guy, I believe his name's Olson. And he, Osborne slams the door and Olson just kind of looks up, like raises his eyebrows. That was awkward. It's just, it's so good. This whole scene with these four guys.
Have you ever seen this actor who plays Palmer before?
I have not. Not that I can recall.
Yeah, because when I first saw this movie, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Sledgehammer." I was like, this is Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer is a sitcom from the mid 80s. It's like a parody of Dirty Harry. And it's basically this absurd buddy cop show that I thought was funny when I was like 3 years old.
Right.
And I don't even know that anyone has ever heard of this show besides me. Obviously, it was big in the 80s, but if I said to you, like, what's Sledgehammer? You probably have never seen this, right?
No clue.
And he's the main actor, the guy named David Rasche.
Okay.
And he's the guy that plays Palmer. And he's like a genius actor. You can incredible facial expressions.
In this, I mean, the guy has like 3 scenes maybe and a couple lines, and it's just, dude, he conveys so much. It's hilarious. This guy just absolutely rules. Yeah, he rules.
And I've never seen anything he's done except this random goofy show called Sledgehammer and this movie. And I remember seeing this for the first time. I was like, "Holy smokes, it's Sledgehammer!"
Yeah, he's God tier. That takes us to the Hardbodies gym, right? What a great name, Hardbodies.
Mm-hmm.
So, Frances McDormand, her character, Linda Litzke, like, it's just so funny. Great character. So I think it shows her first before they get to the gym where she's having a consultation with a doctor about all these surgeries she wants. And it's just like, she's this impulsive character, right? I'm sure you've met these people in your life that are just completely impulsive. Like, what do you think? And just, they're basically, if anyone says anything else aside from it, they can just be told easily. You know what I mean? Just drawn in any direction. But she's like, "Should I get my vaccine scar removed?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's personal preference." I mean, like, this character's so great because she's just completely impulsive, right? She wants to drop like 50, 70 grand on just these surgeries for like liposuction, right? And it's like, another thing was, she's on this website. It's called meetwithmedc.com. And she talks about it with one of the prospects who are coming in. And then it zooms in on the computer in the office. Just the layout of this website. Now, mind you, this is 2008, right? Were there dating websites back in 2008?
Yeah.
Were there?
I don't know if they were. Yeah, I remember one off the top of my head was hotornot.com. Do you remember that one? There was some
vaguely.
There was some messaging that you could do with that website. It turned into a dating site, and then the next biggest one I remember was like plentyoffish.com.
Right.
But that was more popular in like
Yeah,
2010, I think.
Yeah, that was a little bit later. But just the layout, just like, is hilarious to me. Just it dates this movie. 08, the cell phones as well. But like I said, so she immediately jumps back on when the gym goer says that to her, and she's just completely impulsive. It cuts back to her trying to expedite her surgeries, and it's just such a great character. But yeah, we're in the Hardbodies gym, and then we meet Brad Pitt's character. Talk to me about him.
Brad Pitt, his name is Chad in this movie, which is kind of funny considering the Chad meme that's come out years later. But he's over Linda's shoulder while she's looking at this dating site, and she's going over all these people and basically calling all of them losers. And then she comes upon one guy that's just some random schlub looking dude. And she goes, "Oh, this guy works for the State Department." And his response,
Yeah.
It hits you. You're like, oh, that's what they're doing in this movie. They're all acting dumb.
Right.
Where he goes like, that's cool. But he says he's like serious when he's saying it. And was that a decision by the directors? Like, hey, everyone act real dumb in this movie? Or was it him taking the character and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to imagine there was a ton of direction by the Coen Brothers. I'm sure they're letting these actors do their thing, but I'd have to assume they're trying to get the message across. But getting back to what she wants these surgeries done, right? And it's kind of what we always say about these people, right? These people are terrified to work for a good body, right? Am I correct on that? Like, for example, talk about our boy, Rich Piana, rest in peace. I mean, he was right about 5%ers, was he not? There's only 5% of people that are willing to do literally whatever it takes to achieve their goals. Is he wrong?
Yeah, Rich's goal was to just look completely jacked and out of his mind. And you can only do that by A, working out like a maniac, and B, roiding like a maniac.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm
not taking that, but I will say that no one's going to do roids like Rich Piana.
Right.
Except a small percentage of people. So what your point
going
of
all in.
Only 5, yeah, he went all in on that.
Right.
Now, whether you want to say that's positive or negative, that's up to you. But the point is he had a vision, and it's only X amount of, like 5%, as he says, was actually going to follow through on that vision.
Right.
And attain it, right? She is looking to basically lose like 5 pounds.
It's so wild too, because it like takes over her life, and she's like that upset about it.
And get a boob job,
right? But
it's the driving force of this whole movie,
right? But it's her holdup is her major hang up in her life. It's kind of her identity throughout this whole movie.
Yeah,
it's like, why don't you just do the work?
Yeah,
finding every workaround but doing the work.
The doctor even says that at one point, because she's asking about getting liposuction on her thighs, and he's like, well, that really responds to exercise well, so you don't really need that. And she's like, you sure? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like these people, she works at a gym too. Another thing I was wondering is, like, what does she actually do at her job?
I think, well, it's clear that Chad is a trainer, since he's constantly training people, but yeah, you only ever see her with like a clipboard, right? And she's kind of zipping around, somewhat managing, whereas Ted is the actual owner, manager, I guess. He just says manager, maybe he's not the owner, but it seems to me she's like a little higher than a personal trainer. But to your point, yeah, it's pretty wild. She's got her own office.
I don't get the impression she's working out. If she's trying to get liposuction on something, she doesn't really need to.
Right. I think he's just, again, showing how ridiculous people are. But
yeah.
But immediately following that is a really good scene. It's super depressing. So she meets that dude on the website, and they go out for a movie. And it's like, it shows her laughing and she looks at him. And he's just completely straight faced, doesn't laugh. They go out to dinner. He's like mowing down his food, not even talking to her. His head's down the whole time. And they go back to her place and bang awkwardly, right? And then it just shows him passed out and he's snoring. She then grabs his wallet and goes through all his stuff, his ID and whatnot. And it turns out that he's married, right? She finds this note from his wife. And I have to ask, is this what dating looks like after the age of 45?
Yeah, it is. It's highly depressing. In fact, I'm going to change my answer of who I identify with. I now identify with this guy on this date.
Go on.
I mean, if you think about it, they go to a movie first, and it's like this comedy or whatever, and everyone's laughing at this goofy scene, which is that in itself is funny because they wrote this fake movie with a scene with like a woman up in a tree, and the guy's like in the scene, like he's complaining about the woman not committing or something. And it cuts to his face and he's not laughing. I'm like, yeah, that would be me, because I wouldn't find, if I'd be in a movie and like not find stuff funny and just sit there and laugh and not laugh and be awkward as hell. And then you mentioned like they go to dinner after that and he's just woofing down his food.
That's you.
No banter whatsoever between the two of them. They're just eating food silently, awkwardly. Oh, yes, that's me.
I can't.
I mean, the guy's not laughing is like, I can interpret that in two ways. Like, he's apathetic towards life. I mean, he's probably, like you said, 45, and the guy's married or whatever. Right. You find out later. And totally apathetic towards life. So you don't laugh. And another thing is, he's probably thinking back in his head, like, oh, they're talking about commitment in this made-up movie scene.
Right.
I've had issues with commitment in my life too. This hits a little bit too,
oh boy,
too close to home for me, for me to laugh.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, later in the movie, Clooney starts dating this woman too, Linda Litzke, right. And it's almost a complete
180
contrast.
Right.
Where he's laughing in the movie, they're having this banter back and forth at dinner and everything, but it's not any different. It's just a surface level difference because Clooney is literally the same guy,
right,
as that other guy. The laughing and everything is all just,
except this much better looking and way more personable.
Yeah, but that's all like a face that he's putting on,
right.
I mean, I think he actually does like Linda.
Right.
But he leaves her within 5 seconds of thinking that she's some kind of fed at the end of the movie. Dude, so is it really that real? You know what I mean?
I get the vibe that the Coen brothers were really pushing for marriage is not a good thing. Not necessarily a good thing, but they make it appear that everyone cheats. Right. Even to the scene where Clooney tackles the guy spying on him, and then he like gets up all upset, and the guy's like, "Oh, whatever, man. It happens to everybody." I get the impression that the Coen brothers do not believe in marriage.
Well, I'll do you one better. All these how old are all these people in this movie?
So I looked it up. The actual actors are in their 40s in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to portray younger, but yeah, you'd assume that everyone's like 40s.
So they're all
40s, 50s.
Married,
yeah, but
like dating. Like when you're in your 40s, it's depressing it's super depressing to be dating people.
Right.
Like, what is this, high school? You're going out on dates. What are you going to go to get like ice cream at the local malt shop?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is where's the kids in this movie?
That I immediately thought about that. It's like these people are easily late 40s, 50s, right? Where are their kids at?
This is like a critique on people that live in DC that work for the government,
dude,
that make that their whole life.
Yep, facts.
And it's this very sterile, like environment that they find themselves in. And the one guy who we were just talking about, who works at State Department that she dates first, he's barely holding on, where he's not laughing at anything. He's like, I'm going to go through the motions on all this and fall asleep. And Clooney just has a better face.
Right.
He's not far enough in on the depression and apathy yet. Do you know what I mean? So this is a very like depressing, sterile world full of idiots.
It is. And another thing too I want to touch on is, and I was thinking about this, is they keep showing I guess they're houses, whatever. They're like townhomes in downtown DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself watching this, these people are making obviously a ton of money, and they're in these townhomes that probably cost the same amount as like a mansion with acreage if they drive an hour west, right?
Right.
What is the draw aside from being in the big city?
It's the hustle. It's the bustle.
One of these houses. Is there a draw to this?
I don't see it, but I mean, you know how I think about this kind of thing. Maybe it's something where they have to be geographically in that location because the CIA building's there. I have no idea.
Well, that's what it is, I'm sure. But it's just, to me, you hate to see it.
It's no good.
It's no good. And we talk about this all the time.
I feel confined. But we've had these talks about living in the big city.
Oh boy.
For many years now, and we're not about that life.
Folks,
fair to say?
Folks, I mean, if you live in the big city, the hustle, the bustle, get after it. But I just like peace and quiet. I just lived in the city, a general city area for years. Can't go back to that. But the point being is, these people have these, like, I'm sure, super expensive homes, and they're just townhomes that are in the city, and it just seems redundant to me.
Prime real estate.
Right. Prime real estate. It's just all those city shots they seem redundant to me.
Dude, even that dinner party that they have at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is very disturbing because each character is like this strange conversations taking place 100%. Where they're just kind of like annoyed with each other, but passive aggressive about it. And you're like, what is this world that they're in? You know? That's what I mean when they say like a surreal reality in this whole movie.
I believe that those actual dinner dates / cocktail parties actually happen like that, right? Where people are actually having those conversations. That's scary.
Yeah. Whereas I get into one of these dinner parties like this, and I start asking people their net worth. Hey, nice suit there. By the way, what's your net worth? Or like, yeah, how you been? How's your sex life? You know, like just stuff to start messing with people for real.
Yeah.
But like, be direct about how insane this small talk stuff. I can't do it. That's why I can't go to like a dinner party.
So Ted is the gym manager or whatever you want to call it. He takes Linda out for a drink, right? And she's complaining about her body. And he's like, there's plenty of guys out there like you for just the way you are. And it's just, he says it in such a way, right? And she calls all these guys, she's like, yeah, like these losers, right? He's like, so I'm a loser? And it's so funny because he's like, you know, I wasn't always just a manager at Hardbodies. And he's like trying to talk himself up, but show that he's interested. And she just, throughout the whole movie, just talks over him whenever he's trying to get a word in. And it's just funny to me that like, he's so interested in her and she just completely just shits on him the whole time.
Doesn't even realize what he's saying, the implications of what he's saying, that like he likes her, and she's not even recognizing what he's saying.
And he says something like,
also,
it's in your own backyard if you just look, right?
Yeah.
It's a
he's trying to be as direct as possible without being like, hey, I like you.
It's so funny.
Another, like that scene of him at the bar, I completely forgot about this, but it's so crazy. He's like, wasn't always a Hardbodies gym manager, and he just pulls a card out, and it's a picture of him as a Orthodox priest. And you're like, what, dude? Like, what? Where did that come from? Think about them writing that scene. Be like, all right, let's make him an Orthodox priest. And then they're like, well, why'd you leave? And he's like, it's a long story.
It's too long of a story. Yeah, right. Nah, it's funny. And then even to the end where she's saying, oh, well, Chad, I need a yes person. I need a go-getter type of person right now. And you're not that. I hate you. And he ends up, going to break into Osborne's house and, evidently dying because of it. But his character's so good, dude. But also, speaking of great characters, Clooney, right? This character, Harry, is also phenomenal. This guy's just like zipping around. He's married. He's sleeping with other women, right? And it's always a cut to him where he's getting changed, like putting on his belt after sex. And he like slaps his sides. He's like, I think I can get a run in. And so where like his character trait is just getting a run in to where at the end where he's like depressed, right? And he's just like, I haven't ran in 3 days. It's like, what, dude?
You know what I thought of when I heard that? I immediately thought of, I got to return some videotapes.
Exactly.
From American Psycho.
It's so good.
You're so right though. The digital footprint, the reality of 2008 is like, dude. Once they came out with iPhones and everything, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
But this Cloon dog's rolling around with a flip phone.
Yeah, he can just he has carte to do whatever he wants. I mean,
Yeah, those are good times, man.
How about this one? How about the phone call to Osborne Cox?
This is unbelievable. I mean, I'm watching this and I'm like, this can't be real at the level of naivete from Chad. He goes into Linda's apartment because Linda's all depressed. She wants all this money for these surgeries. Goes in and they try and figure out a way to get money for the information that they found. This supposedly secret documents, top secret, but it's really just Osborne's, his, what do you call it?
Yeah, all of his financials and his memoir.
His memoir, sorry. Yeah, so...
But I believe his financials were on that as well.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of random numbers and stuff, and he thinks it's like, this is the real intel here.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he's asking on the phone, he goes, is this Osborne Cox?
Osborne Cox.
And he's asleep. He's asleep and he picks up and he's like, who is this? Or at first, and then he starts getting really pissed because he keeps asking him if he's Osborne Cox.
So good.
And there's the extremely naive, stupid persona of Brad Pitt in this movie. It's somehow very convincing, and at the same time completely implausible. Like, how could someone be this dumb?
They're out there, dude. They're out there.
But they're out there.
Oh
yeah.
My God,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
out there. Simple fact. But yeah, he's like freaking out, and he's like, "Don't blow a gasket, Osborne." Dude, it's so funny. But yeah, so then there's also the scene where they finally meet, right? Chad meets Osborne in his car, and Osborne's looking at him in his rear view, and Chad changed his bike up, and it's like they're gonna have like a 5 to 10 minute rendezvous, but they still have him chain his bike up. And it's like Osborne's a spy, so he's gonna pick up on, it's you're not gonna fool this guy, right? But I just imagine Osborne's thinking like, maybe these people are actually legit, and they sent this dude on a bike to throw me off, because there's no way this dude is that dumb, right?
Yeah, that's a sentiment you get in this movie a lot. Is there's a lot of people being like, they can't be that dumb. There has to be something going on here that's serious.
Right.
It can't be that this person just rolled up on a bicycle and is trying to blackmail me and is this dumb.
It's funny.
So he is like, what's really going on here?
But how many people are there like that in this movie? There's only one who's seeing through it all, and that's Osborne Cox, right?
Right.
But
right.
And he's always getting pissed, but it rolls perfectly because the final scene is him with a machete, and he's just taking it into the street and just machetes Ted in broad daylight till the point where he gets shot. It's like this guy finally lost it. He's like, I'm literally surrounded by idiots. It's like perfect.
Yeah. And you're right that Brad Pitt does make this very insane squinting face.
Crazy faces. He gets in the car.
He gets in, he looks at Osborne, and
he
looks at him regular, and then he like squints a second later to try and match Osborne.
He's trying to be intimidating / like Mystique or whatever. And he's
Osborne Cox?
Like, Osborne Cox? And he's like, yes, who are you? Mr. Black. He's like, now since we know each other, he's like, perceptions can be, or what does he say? So something to the effect of like,
can be deceptive.
Yeah.
He keeps saying it. He keeps calling it deceptive instead of deceiving.
Yeah, appearances can be deceptive, Osborne.
Yeah.
So good. But that takes us to the Russian embassy. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so they get kind of blown out by Oswald because he's just like, I'm not giving you the money.
Right.
Like, you guys are committing felonies. You're insane. Like, you're in way over your head. So their next avenue of getting money is that we'll just go to the Russian embassy and sell the CIA secrets to the Russians. Not even thinking the fact that that's treason. You could be like arrested for treason for that.
Yeah. Well, one problem before you get into this, one problem that I do have, if I'm going to give a critique on writing this movie, is they make Brad Pitt to be this dumb character, Chad, right? And he barely can keep it together, right? Barely is smart enough to not shit his pants. However, this guy puts 2 and 2 together that they can go to the Russians and blackmail this guy. A little bit off on the writing there, I must say.
Yeah.
Question that, but go ahead.
Well, they get in and they get in the building and they see someone, and the Russian guy is just totally perplexed at what's going on. For one thing, he's like, I don't know what to make of what you're telling me.
Right.
And then he starts to understand, and he's like, is this real? Like, who are you people?
Yeah.
And then finally Linda convinces him and hands him this CD with the information on it. And I just love the fact that the guy goes PC or Mac.
Yeah.
I don't even know if is that a real thing anymore? I don't even know.
Dude, think about that. This was 2008. Remember when there was the huge marketing push for Mac or PC?
Yeah.
Mac, yeah. So that was definitely a thing back then.
Is that even like the format?
Well, the formatting.
I just assume you could just put them in both now, right?
Now you can, but back then, yeah, there was definitely a discrepancy between Mac and PC, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah. But it's just the surreal nature of this movie where a Russian diplomat is saying to this random gym worker who's giving him CIA secrets, PC or Mac. Like what?
Are you a PC or Mac guy?
I'm a PC guy. I've always been a Mac guy because my dad had Mac stuff growing up. My dad was like a Mac guy in the 90s, which is crazy to me. Like before Mac,
right.
came out with the iMac.
Right.
Do you remember those translucent blue and orange Macs?
Absolutely.
That was when they became popular again.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, they were like these computers that were only in school classrooms.
Yep, I remember.
And my dad was, for whatever reason, I have no idea why, but he was super into Macs.
Mm-hmm.
And he always like believed in the Mac. And then he was like, see? Once saw the iMac and the eventually the phone came out, he was like, see? I told you.
I'm a PC guy. I think it's only because I've ever used PCs. Our buddy Ryan is a huge Mac guy. And every time I talk to him about editing or whatever, he's always like, well, yeah, dude, that's because you have a PC. Shit. But
yeah,
I must
because
say,
Macs were originally much better for video editing.
Right.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure in the last 10 years or whatever, it didn't. You could just get whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Do the same video editing on like a
right
a phone now, and have it match what you could do in the mid 2000s. But
I think it's just because I've always used PCs for whether it's like school, work, and I'm just so used to it that I just never converted to a Mac or just like, it's an iPhone and a Samsung, same kind of difference. But getting back to the embassy, it's funny because she keeps telling him that she like is in a rush because she has a date. And she's like, I have a date, like pointing at her watch. It's like, this is an important thing you're trying to do and get money out of it, blackmail money out of the Russian embassy. But she's more concerned about her date. And then Chad's more concerned about his bike because they left in her car and he left his bike behind. And he's like, that lock it's not a good lock. Someone could steal my bike. It's just the short-sightedness of these characters is so good.
This next scene is what really originally blew me away when I first saw it. It's when Chad sneaks into Harry's house. Now, at this point, I was like, I don't even know whose house this is. Is this Harry's house or is this Osborne's house? I guess it's Osborne's because he finds the address through the information. And it's after she gets a divorce with him and kicks him out of the house.
Exactly, yeah.
And Harry's living there already.
She changes a lot. It's so funny, too, that he's living there already. But she changes the locks, which is why Osborne ends up saying, like, I've got the keys, right? And comes back. Yeah. And that's when Linda divulges the address at the end scene, if you recall, to Harry. So that's how, that's the address, because that's the address that Harry shot him at. So it's Osborne's house.
And he tries to get Chad is trying to get more info from Osborne for whatever insane. He thinks he can get more info and sell it or something. So he sneaks into this house, and it's just hilarious. He's in front of the house because there's people watching the house. They're already being watched by other agencies and stuff like that.
The whole movie is people spying on in like the background, and George Clooney's always looking around like he's getting followed. It's hilarious.
Super paranoid, and Brad Pitt has this look on his face like, oh, nothing, not doing anything over here.
So good.
And then he sneaks around the corner and jumps over a wall, and it's so awkward the way he does it. So he's in there downloading stuff on the computer, and then goes upstairs, and he sees someone come at the door, and he runs upstairs and goes into the closet.
Right.
It's Clune Dog at the door, who has no idea that there's someone in the house. Takes a shower, and Brad Pitt is just hiding in the closet. Coen Dog takes maybe a 20-second shower. Maybe. It was extremely fast.
On screen time, 20 seconds.
I'm watching this like that's the time to just run now.
It's funny because it does show Brad Pitt look out the closet kind of crack, and he can see the doors open. And he can see Clooney in the reflection of the shower of like the mirror. So it's like, what's this guy hesitating for? Just go. I don't know why they threw that in there. Yeah, I don't know why they threw that in there. It's like, dude, just jump out and run.
And so Clooney eventually goes and opens the closet to get clothes out. And Brad Pitt has this look on his face like, hey, I know you caught me.
It's like
but don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm a friendly guy. Don't worry. And Clooney just shoots him in the face immediately.
Well, it's
just super abrupt and blows his head off.
Yeah, it's funny because the camera kind of it zooms out, right? And it's almost like if you slow it down, and I didn't do that, but it seems like it's like the clothes kind of separate the clothing racks, the clothes that are hanging up. And it kind of zooms out, or either out or in, if I recall. And he just kind of does this like little smile, like head tilt, like, hey, you got me. And he's so paranoid because all these people throughout the movie, he just raises his gun and shoots them. And funny enough, if you notice, as soon as he gets done with the shower, he puts a shirt on. For whatever reason, he goes and grabs his gun from like the nightstand. And then Brad Pitt looks over and sees his holsters hanging up in the closet. So I'm assuming, with what Clooney says in the past, his character was always carrying a gun, that he's grabbing the gun and he's going to go get the holster and put it in and then put it on himself, right? So it kind of leads him to the closet, but it's just kind of weird. But like I said, it's just because he's so paranoid, right, that he just immediately just shoots him. And he said they keep reiterating that he's never shot a gun before, so I think all those things kind of tie together beautifully. That being said, can I get a quick loadout check here?
I think he's carrying 357, some kind of revolver.
Right. I think it is too. Yeah. Because they show it on the ground and he comes back in, right? And he like does like a little roll to grab the gun as if he didn't just shoot this guy in the head and he's dead.
Yeah.
But which is another
I love
hilarious. Yeah, it's another nice funny little touch. But the best is they wrote in that Chad has his tags ripped off his suit and then his wallet, right, has nothing in it, no ID. So Clooney's going through all his stuff and it's like adding more and more to this guy's paranoia, which kind of leads to the end scene that we see, his final scene.
I didn't really get that, other than they're trying to make Clooney more paranoid.
That's what it was.
But why did he have the tags pulled off on his suit?
They
was it because it was some garbage suit?
They referenced it earlier. No, I think I don't know who Brad Pitt's talking to earlier in the movie, but they referenced something about taking off the tags.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I swear. I mean, I'd be going crazy, but I could have sworn they referenced it, and that's why he does it.
I didn't catch that. I just thought it was some kind of unexplained quirk of his character.
No.
That would be like something an idiot would do.
They definitely referenced it because but it's to your point though. It could even be what you're saying because then his wallet has like $4 bills in it and then like no ID. So it definitely could be that as well. But then we get to the Palmer telling CIA about what happened.
Oh my God.
Talk to me about that.
This is, I mean, it's an epic, just top 10 facial expression scene. He comes in and he has to tell his superior about what's going on. And it's so convoluted that he doesn't really know what to say.
It's so good.
And the superior is just like, the Russians.
The Russians?
Like, how are the Russians involved in this?
Well, it says it again a second. I was like, but the Russians? I think these two, CIA and Palmer, they make the movie because they interact. Yes. I think 2 or maybe 3 times. I think it's just these two, right? And just they're back and forth of like, what's going on here? And well, sir, I don't really know. It makes the movie.
And the analyst Cox, he asks him like, this analyst Cox, and he goes, what's his clearance level? 3? Okay, no biggie. And it tells you like this guy is not even that important at the CIA. They're making this big deal about this guy. He's not anyone important at all. They're demoting him and it's not an issue whatsoever.
Right.
And this guy doesn't even barely has any idea about him at all, the superior. And Palmer's face when the CIA says to him, he's like, he has this reaction when he says no biggie, like,
oh, yep, no biggie.
Oh, okay, right, no biggie. Okay,
yep. Yeah, he's like so really up. Yep, okay. It's like it really makes you wonder if this is how top level CIA interactions go.
Yeah,
because it's like he says the CIA superior is like, well, keep an eye on everyone and see what they do. Report back to me when it all makes sense. It's like, it seems to be so nonchalant, but
everyone thinks it's like Jason Bourne, like
right.
Like, Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. Like
is
everyone in the command center right now, get moving. It's actually this guy. Like, what's his name? Level 3? No biggie.
Well, that leads us to Cox finding Ted in the basement. Talk to me about that.
This is funny just because it's the reaction of the audience, their frustration built up throughout this whole movie. Ted, the manager of this gym, who at the beginning, remember, he said wanted nothing to do with any of this nonsense, was hiding behind the little glass window in the office. Ted wants nothing to do with any of this nonsense, but because he likes Linda convinced him to go and break in to this guy's house and steal information from his computer.
Mm.
And Cox is upstairs. He broke into his own house. He's immediately gets a liquor drink for himself.
Oh yeah. It's funny. He walks down with the gun and the liquor in his hand. It's
he's walking downstairs. He hears something in the basement. He's walking downstairs in a bathrobe, liquor drink, the ice clinking on the glass when he's walking with a gun in his other hand, ready to kill someone in his house.
Based.
Totally unhinged maniac. goes downstairs and he sees this dude, Ted. And he's like, I know you. I asked you about this woman, Linda, the day before.
Oh, so he was the one that he was saying some guy came in asking about you. Okay, I just put two and two together there. Gotcha.
And that's all he needs. Like, he doesn't need any explanation. And then he's like, you are a moron. You are in a league of morons. He goes, I've been fighting morons my whole life. And he's like, this time I win. And to the point, everyone in this movie is an idiot. Even Osborne goes, now I win, and shoots him in the shoulder. And then Ted turns around, grabs something, and launches it at Osborne. Like, dude, you could just pump like 10 rounds into the guy and easily kill him, but he probably has a ton of liquor at this point.
Right.
And so it leads to him dropping his gun. Ted runs up in a very goofy fashion up the stairs. Osborne runs up after him, and Osborne gets and catches up to him in the park in the driveway and like starts beating him to death with this
hatchet,
machete or a hatchet or something.
So good.
Immediately, like you're like, what? This is so goofy looking. Immediately just cuts back to Palmer and CIA.
Real good cut. Yeah, for sure. And it's like the final scene. This is my favorite scene in the movie by far.
Yeah. Incredible. This is it. This is, top 10 facial expressions. The exact, when we were first talking and we both were like, yeah, we love this movie.
Dude,
this is it.
It's
like, this is the best scene ever.
It's Palmer explaining. He's like, well, there was one other snag, and he says like snag, and his mouth goes to the side, and he kind of does. He's like, so that's it, right? That's it. That's everyone. He's like, well, what is it? And then he's like, there was the gym worker, the Linda Litzke, and the way his mouth goes to the side just kills me every time. Like this dude in this scene, it just makes the entire movie.
He says Harry is going. They arrested him in an airport, and he's going to Venezuela. And he goes, "We don't know why he was going to Venezuela." And he's like, "Well, it's because we don't have any extradition with Venezuela." He's like,
right, yeah." He's like, "So put him on the next flight to Venezuela." He's yep, okay, yep, so, yep, right. It's like this dude is he's just trying to look good in front of his superior, right, and not look like
yeah.
So he's just trying to, as he did in the first scene with Cox, when he's trying to just mediate the situation and just trying to get on his level so he doesn't blow up. He's doing the same here with CIA because he doesn't want him to blow up. So he's just trying to pacify the situation, right? And it's just like he doesn't have the information to give him, so he just he's like, I don't know how it all ties together.
Yeah, and it's like he is expecting a shitstorm, bringing him this information, CIA. He doesn't know anything because it's so convoluted, and he's trying to kind of ease his superior into that. And then the absolute surprise on his face mixed with like a weight off his shoulders in finding out that his superior barely cares about any of this stuff.
It's so good. He's like, and at the end, CIA is like, what do we learn, Palmer? Hell if I know. I guess we'll learn not to do it again. I'm fucked if I even know what we did. It's so good, dude. It's like the cherry on top for the end of the movie. But yeah, this movie, all in all, I think it does a really good job with repetition. Like you keep seeing the same locations, character traits, specifically Clooney, for example. He has this tick of noticing different floor types in people's homes. Is kind of hilarious to me throughout the movie. And then, Linda, when she's walking through the park, seeing like her date, whoever it was, Clooney or the other guy, it kind of beats into your head, what they're trying to have you take away. And they do a good job with that with repetition. But the
mundane nature, the mundane repetition of the sad lives of these people.
The DC lifestyle. The DC state worker lifestyle.
All right, well, let's get into the kino ratings.
I give this movie a solid 7.5, right? It's packed with a ton of storyline, which is impressive to do in an hour and a half. I think it's obviously really well written. Cast is top tier caliber. It's just a super funny story that's fleshed out properly. Not really many holes. I would say I'd stop at a 7.5 because even though it's funny as shit and entertaining, the subject matter I think can kind of get boring. I think it's intended to be that way, right? It's a bunch of federal employees in DC, and they're tying it to gym owners, but they do a really good job with the dialogue and tying it all together. But yeah, I mean, it's not the sexiest movie, but it's not meant to be, right? So it kind of makes it entertaining. How about you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I give it a 7. And I totally agree with your assessment there. This movie is hilarious. Every scene is funny. Every scene has exactly what I love in movies, where it's their crazy facial expressions, right?
That's all this movie is.
Yeah, and it's every scene too. But it's not exactly a movie I'd watch multiple times.
Well, yeah,
though.
you're not going to. It's once every
Right.
couple years or every decade.
It is. I mean, the idea of just the DC world,
Yeah, dude.
the federal employee world, dating in your 40s world.
Yeah.
It's very boring. Like it's very boring and kind of depressing. And but they make it in this movie. It's like they make the mundane extremely bizarre
Over the
and
top.
funny.
Yeah. That's exactly it. It's meant to just be. They tie all these characters together, right? In a good way, so the writing is good there. But they basically, and again, like we talked about earlier, you're like, oh, I'm not sure if it's the actors. I don't think it's the actors. I think the actors are doing a good job, but they're specifically telling them how they want these characters to be conveyed, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what the other half of the movie is, just these insane expressions to these things happening, these insane reactions. And that's it. That's the whole movie. You know what I mean? So
there you have it, folks. Burn After Reading, 2008. Episode 7 in the books.
catch you on the next one.
See ya.